at what the press has been saying around the world, and we've got Florence Villeminot with us here on the set to do that. Hi, Flo.
Hi, Jeannie.
All right, let's start now with the continued developing story there in Ferguson, Missouri.
That's right. A lot of papers, especially in the States, as you can imagine, are focused on the fact that the governor of Missouri, Jay Nixon, had to call in the National Guard. You can see here in the Daily Beast, they say that chaos forced Missouri governor to call in the National Guard. Here comes the real military, says the Daily Beast. And it says that, well, the National Guard might not be a huge change for locals in Ferguson. Why is that? Well, it's because a lot of the people and papers have been focusing on the fact that the local police, well, it's become very militarized in the United States. You'd be forgiven for mistaking the local police for soldiers. We've been seeing them photos of police officers looking a lot more like soldiers than small town cops, according to the Daily Beast. Remains to be seen what the National Guard is actually going to be able to do.
Now, also, Flo, many papers are drawing comparisons between the shooting of Michael Brown and the shooting of another black teenager a few years ago, Trayvon Martin.
That's right, in Florida. Now, Trayvon Martin's mother, Sabrina Fulton, she's actually written an open letter to Michael Brown's family. It was published in Time magazine yesterday, and you can read it here in Slate magazine, which says that she perhaps better than anybody knows what Michael Brown's family is going through. It's a very heartbreaking letter, and I've just pulled out one quote. Further complicating the pain and loss in this tragedy is the fact that the killer of your son is alive, known, and currently free.
All right, let's move on now to another story that's getting a lot of attention, this time in Ireland, where a young woman was allegedly denied an abortion.
That's right. This is a very complicated story, and according to the Irish Examiner, the full facts are yet to emerge. What's known, though, is that the Health Service executive has been asked to carry out an investigation into the treatment of a teenage asylum seeker who was reportedly refused an abortion despite being reportedly raped and certifiably suicidal. Now, this is a very complicated story, as I said, but it's bound to be in the Irish press, at least, for the days to come.
All right. Well, obviously, you were telling me, too, it sparked so much outrage in the Irish press.
That's right. I pulled out two editorials from the Irish papers. First of all, from the Irish Independent. It points out that the spotlight was already put on Ireland's harsh abortion laws back in 2012 with an Indian woman, you can see a photo of her here, was denied an abortion even though she was miscarrying, and she later died of septicemia. Now, this eventually led to a law, the 2013 Abortion Act, and a lot of papers are saying this more recent event, well, really was a test for that law. And this article in the Irish Independent says it's proof that the law needs to be revised. I also pulled out the editorial in the Irish Times, which actually was the first paper to leak this story. It's very critical about how the Irish government is dealing with this, tossing around this issue of abortion like a hot potato. And it says that Ireland's troubled relationship with the contentious issue of abortion seems likely to outlive the current government. And if you're interested, the Irish Times actually interviews the young woman at the heart of this most recent story. You can read it on their website.
All right, let's come back now to Paris, where the French press is making much of this incredible car robbery of a Saudi prince on his way to the airport with some 250,000 euros in cash taken.
Right. Such a crazy story, as you can imagine. It's getting a lot of attention in the French press. Le Parisien takes a closer look at the investigation into this ring road robbery, as it calls it. Now, first of all, it points out that the Saudi embassy has not yet confirmed the identity of the Saudi Arabian citizen that was robbed. It's not even clear whether or not he was in the cars at the time. Now, according to Le Parisien, this was a very precise operation, a lightning assault, that's what it calls it. So, as you're saying, the robbers made off with 250,000 euros in cash and then a bunch of what they're calling sensitive documents. It's unclear just what these documents are and whether that means that this is more than just organized crime. You can see here the editorial of Aujourd'hui en France. They're talking about a commando that took a lot of risks. Le Parisien is worried about what all this will mean in terms of repercussions for the the image of Paris as a safe city, especially for foreigners. And Le Parisien says that Paris actually already has pretty bad reputation in certain countries. For instance, it says that Chinese people are very worried that they're going to be robbed the second they leave the airport in Paris.
Oh dear, makes you want to have those little banana belly bags again we all had 20 years ago. All right, let's wrap up in Germany. Germany's in the spotlight because yesterday Turkey said it had summoned the German ambassador over allegations of spying.
That's right. Germany is in hot water. Let's take a look at Der Spiegel because this is actually the article that is at the heart of the row. You can see it says how Germany spies on its friends. And this article has very embarrassing revelations for Germany. It says that the Federal Intelligence Service, the BND, has unintentionally been eavesdropping on certain U.S. officials, Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State, and John Kerry, according to Der Spiegel. And it's also been deliberately targeting Turkey since 2009. Now, remember that Germany has been quite upset with the United States for over a year now over allegations the NSA was spying on German officials, especially German Chancellor Angela Merkel. This is the editorial in the Wall Street Journal today. You can feel that they're a little bit happy about what's happening to Germany. They talk about spies like us. It seems like a case of the pot calling the kettle black. Just to quote the article, it says, Uncle Sam isn't alone after all. The broader lesson is that loud self-righteousness about espionage is rarely wise policy.
Florence Villeneuve, thank you so much for that look at the press. All right, it's time now for sports on France 24 with a victorious French